This week, the things I like and don't like about the Jeep Wrangler. The thing about a Jeep Wrangler is there are always going to be Wrangler haters. How many cars can you walk up to and sit on the bumper like this? And on top of this hill, the Wrangler looks like a king. In firecracker red, it is fabulous. And the thing about Wrangler is it isn't about what it can do, it's about how it makes you feel. And as they've changed Wrangler over the years, some of the things they haven't changed is the basic shape. It still looks like a Wrangler because this is a Jeep. This is a Jeep. When someone thinks of a Jeep, this is what they think of. The 7 slots, and it's even got a camera and things at the front now. It's gone all high tech and modern. And it's got pucker off-road tyres and the 3.6 Pentastar and a bendy aerial. I'm doing that. And it still looks like a proper, serious four-wheel drive. And if the key's in your pocket, you just need to press the button and the doors lock, including the tailgate. Put your hand inside and it unlocks. And it unlocks a key to freedom. God, I love this car. And this has this kind of freedom roof, this full-length canvas top. You can see I've got it partially open, but it goes from the front of the car all the way to the back, goes all the way to here. And the good thing about this is you can still take it all off. You can take this all apart like a big bit of Lego. The doors come off. The windscreen will flap forward onto the 2 things on the bonnet, the 2 little knobs. And the roof, this bit from there all the way through to here, all comes off. Now, my Jeep lady tells me that 2 people can do it, but that looks pretty heavy to me, even though it's made of a lightweight material. And to prove they've thought of everything, there's even a reversing camera in the middle of the wheel. There's a couple of nuts to unlock it, so I assume that comes off. I'm not going to do it because I get into trouble every time. There's a handle just here that you pull to open the tailgate. So they've not changed, it opens wide too. You flick up the rear hatch, and inside it's quite spacious. And you can see from the inside that the roll bar is quite separate to the roof structure itself. So this bit comes off. That's the inside bit of the canvas I was telling you about. For that full outdoor experience. And the Alpine sound system has this huge doof in the back. There's a 12-volt DC outlet as well. So you can take all of your accessories with you. This is where the electrical bits for the roof join in. Now they've all got to be disconnected when you undo the bolts to take the roof out. Or off. There's speakers here in the middle roll bar. And the seats are easy clean, relatively speaking. And look how much space there is. There's vents in the back as well, a couple of window buttons, and a household outlet, plus a couple of USBs. And a little place to store phones, though I'm not sure it'd stay there if you got into the really rough stuff. And that's a topographical map of the Rubicon Trail. That's in the rubber mats on the floor. I love that. I got in to do the report in the front seat and tell you about the dash, the part digital dash, and so on and so forth, and the buttons and what have you. But my phone had overheated plugged into CarPlay, so it'll be interesting to see whether it's the phone or the car. I've not ever had that happen before. The 24 Wrangler will have the bigger Uconnect screen, so Uconnect 5, and it will also have wireless CarPlay, which will be a little bit better. Down below we've got heated steering wheel. There's also heated front seats, so you can turn the auto on, off, and so on and so forth. And this does have smart cruise control. Down below we've got some 4-wheel drive controls. This one is a little more basic. It's got a different 4-wheel drive system, and you need to use the lever to lock it. There's no auto mode for 4-wheel drive, but it does have 2 high, 2 low, 4 high, neutral, and 4 low. As well, you can press the sway bar button and it will disconnect the sway bar, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Now, to get up on this hill, I didn't need to use 4-wheel drive. It was perfectly adequate, as steep as the hill is, on 2-wheel drive. The Pentastar has plenty of sparkle. It's an off-roading car and it's got massive off-roading tyres. And as I'm going along fairly slowly on this relatively smooth tarmac, you can hear the knobbles making the whirring noise on the road surface. And I like it. I really like it. The suspension is fairly taut, so as we go over a speed bump now, I'll get tossed around a bit. I snorted. It makes me laugh, it makes me giggle, because this is a $90,000 top of the range Wrangler. And it feels like it was built for one thing and one thing only, and that is doing off-road really, really well. But the interesting thing is most of its life will probably be spent doing what I'm doing. And, you know, that's a shame. So it is a weekend companion. It's got a large fuel tank, so it can go far. And while we're on the subject of inclusions, there is blind spot monitor and so forth, but really most SUVs are not built with those safety inclusions in mind. The Uconnect system, even though this isn't the latest version, still has all the controls. So for example, there's the heated seats and the dim mirror and so forth. You can also go in there to get to your camera and heated steering wheel. The media is where to go to for Apple CarPlay, DAB radio even, and then there's pre-installed apps. There's navigation. Got beeped. And it's also how you get to CarPlay. But back to the cabin, there's sturdy grab handles and this anodized look to the plastic fascia. If I prove nothing else this week, it's that apart from the well-documented off-road capability, and I don't think there's any doubt this thing can virtually climb a vertical wall, that on-road it is just as comfortable. The steering is lovely. I'm putting no effort into this whatsoever. It's got a fabulous stereo. It's got a brilliant engine. In the good old US of A, which is where this car is made, petrol is still as cheap as chips, even though they think, you know, $3 a gallon is expensive. I could imagine this as a way to get to my weekend away. We even took it up the cottages, and you can read about that on gaycarboys.com. Wrangler has a feeling of smug superiority, and while it doesn't have the luxury of the Grand Cherokee that we had last week, it is still fairly nice inside. The seats are unbelievably comfortable. It's all shift to myself, but that's okay. It means that there's not buttons to fix later. And if you go to America, you see Wranglers absolutely everywhere. Especially in California, they take the tops down and burn themselves to a cinder. I love this canvas roof. I love the fact that all my controls, they really thought about it. All the controls stay intact, even if you take all of the accoutrements off the windscreen, even if that's hinged forward, even if the roof is taken off, even if the doors are taken off. The Pentastar engine is beautiful, the 8-speed automatic is silky. It's just a lovely thing, and even with these big off-road tyres, still decent to drive in town. It's easy to manoeuvre, has plenty of get up and go. The Pentastar sounds brilliant. That was it telling me there was a car in front of me. And so in short, Wrangler delivers on absolutely every promise, every single one. It doesn't write checks it can't cash. Unlike soft roaders, this car can go anywhere. And that's all this week from the Jeep Wrangler. It is so much fun. I just love it. As always, hit like, leave a comment, and just over there to subscribe.